Hello fellow YouTubers, I just want to share this little video to anybody who's interested. This is my newly acquired 10-year-old Yamaha bw50. Picked it up for $1,000 here in Ontario, and as you can see I only picked it up a couple of days ago, but already I have it all pulled apart, and the reason is because, and I'm going to put my tripod down here, hopefully I can show you why it's pulled apart. So this is the reservoir tank where the two-stroke oil goes. Obviously you can see it's kind of like this. The fill cap here, is a lot of you I'm sure have these and know, there's a little indicator in there where you fill the oil to. Anyway, everything was fine when I got home, but of course I noticed there was no oil on the top. So when I filled it in, I started it up, it dumped it all on the floor. So I pulled it all apart, and I found that this hole here is for this little sensor. Of course this was all covered in oil, completely thick everywhere. I've cleaned it all up since. This is just a little float switch. So basically when the oil's in there, obviously there's no oil in there, these contacts will make, it sends a signal to the front of the dash, and there's a little yes, a little red oil light to say obviously low oil, so don't run it. This just sits in the reservoir like so. I don't know if you can see that. I would imagine when this is new that this is a real snug fit, to hard to push into here, but of course I've learned through several forums that I've been reading in the last couple of days, for some reason the rubber becomes hardened, I would imagine, and as you can see I can push that in with no trouble at all. So when this is full of oil, here's the thing, the two strokes back in the 70s, showing my age there, back in the 70s they normally would have, you'd fill it here, they would have a glass through the side panel and a view indicator, and then you would see how much oil is in the reservoir, so you know whether to add or not to add. I don't understand why they've done it this way, because not only, this is certainly enough oil to run several tanks of fuel, I would say probably 12 tanks of fuel through, but the oil, there's a helicopter going overhead now, there she goes. Not only this is full of oil, but the filler tube is full to the top of the filler cap. That's where it says fill the oil till. The problem is obviously gravity comes to play here. If this is not a tight fit, this oil has to go somewhere, and if the least resistance, if this can just pop out, then it's just going to bubble out of here, and of course that's why I dumped it all over my grass in the back garden. So I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to show you or share with you what I hope to do here. So a couple of people on YouTube have said, and I'm going to just go over to my table here just to make it easier, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I apologise for my poor editing, but I'm not a cameraman by far. This has got nothing to do with anything, but anyway, I'm hoping that you, if I see where I am here. So basically, as I was showing you, this is the little float switch, which has to be in place because you don't want to run out of oil. So a couple of people have said you buy a new one and they're probably around $20 or so. I would imagine that the OD of this rubber little part of the switch, shall we say, here is marginally bigger, so therefore it would be a snug fit into the top of the reservoir. A couple of people have said that you can run a bead of caulking around there, which I'm sure would work, but I mean the longevity, you've got greasy two-stroke oil touching silicone, I would imagine only in a matter of weeks or months, or you know, it would just break and this would pop up again. The other option is obviously to buy a new one, but I've got a nifty thought here, and this is just my thought. I got a piece of plain Jane heat shrink. You buy a 4-foot piece of this from here, and I think it was less than $5. My thought is to slide this over here and take my heat gun and obviously heat it down. A little chipmunk has done my scooter there. And heat this down so it fits snugly over the this part of the switch. The thickness of this, and I haven't measured it, but I would imagine it's probably a 32nd. That may just be enough. Obviously, with the nature of heat shrink is it would be a nice tight fit, and some of it would run down into the stem here, which doesn't matter because that's just going to sit in the top. So I just thought I might share that with you. I'm going to do that, and this is video 1. If it's successful, I'm going to put it all back together and see how we get on. So keep posted. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. Thank you.